Bunch of stuff. Edward, how are you doing?
Doing well, George.
We're gonna go over a bunch of stuff today. Let me clear my screen here. So, just again, we always talk about golf cart resource, okay? The website development designing company. Um, we must try to, refer some of our golf cart clients to them. They do a phenomenal job with website development. They did the American Cart Care website. They probably have, I don't know, 300 clients in the United States. But in addition, they're going to put a banner ad on their website for American Cart Care. So we've been working with them. We're the official aftermarket ancillary product company of Golf Cart Resources. So we just got to they're going to put a link on their website that we can refer our dealers to. The dealers can click it and schedule a demo, a no cost obligation demo. But when you have 300 clients in the United States, some of the biggest dealer groups in the United States, I think you're doing something right. We see you, Brian. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, George. Sorry, I was trying to get on my cell phone. And anyways, is Keith on the call?
No,
Okay.
no. So keep that in mind. Refer dealers, when you can. It's not obviously we don't want to do it, when we're doing the 3 phases of training, but maybe after a month or so, kind of refer them. Some of our dealers have, I'm not saying anything bad, Ken. Not saying anything bad, Ken, but Premier Golf Carts of Humor, their website, in all honesty, I could have done that. I mean, I've got some SEO capability. I've worked in WordPress, made a couple sites in my day, but some of these dealers, they have websites done by Shopify, by Square, and they're not very intuitive. They're not navigational. They're not functional. They don't help at all. So just keep that in mind. Golf cart resource.
Yeah, their website leaves a lot to be desired. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, the other day. But very nice gentlemen. Look forward to working with them and getting them up and running. So don't forget, we have the 3 phases of training. And I was talking to Brian last, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I forget. But the other thing is I want to show you guys is I kind of maybe spruced it up. And I know Scott does this, but then again, he's smarter than the average whip. So I'm going to jump ahead to the waiver. So we have a waiver. Is everybody familiar with a waiver? And I am having some computer, so I apologize. So and Russell, I don't know if there's a law with it or something, but every customer, if they offer an extended service contract or tire and wheel or theft benefits to one consumer, they have to offer it to every consumer. Okay. And in the car business, there's a lot of pushback, blowback when something happens to somebody's car. And of course, the salesman or somebody at the dealership in service says, well, you should have bought the extended service contract or the extended warranty. And the customer says, nobody ever talked to me about that. And we all know in the real world it's probably not true. But what I did, and I know this is pretty shitty looking, let's just call it what it is, but Scott would do a much better job, as would everybody else on this call. But all I did, we have a waiver. It's a waiver of service agreement. So when they offer the extended service contract to the consumer, when the consumer opts to waive their purchase of the extended service contract, they really should be signing one of these. And it should be kept in the folder of the deal jacket or the paperwork from buying the golf cart. And the reason for that is you don't want any, pushback or blowback down the road. Russ, you probably have a better way of explaining it. Why don't you take a stab at it?
Yeah, so the best way to think about this is, let's say a customer buys a car, and then 18 months later, their regular manufacturer warranty is expired, and their transmission goes out. They go back to the dealer. They're like, "Oh, well, what do you mean it's going to cost me?" No, I mean, offer a extended service contract. What's that? Oh, it's a product where you can buy an extended program and cover this transmissions like this in the future and blah, blah, blah. Well, no one ever offered that to me before. And it immediately creates heat for the dealer, right? Because now everybody's on guard that someone's like, oh, well, she didn't get offered or he didn't get offered an extended service plan. Under the law, that person can say that because of who they were or what they did or what they bought or how they bought it, could be discriminated against because they were never offered an extended service contract. So it creates a big old mess when you do not provide 100% of the time an offer to a consumer for an extended service plan or a gap policy. This is more prevalent with gap than it is with extended service contracts, but it's super important that dealers start to recognize the liabilities that not having one of these signs signed creates.
Right. Scott, you did one for Prestige, right? Did you finish that one or not?
No, it's in
Stacy's hands.
I've got their other one and I've combined them, but it's not clean enough yet. It's what George's referring to is we took this same waiver. Prestige has a policy in place that they talk about much more so with the dealers. Well, I'm sure with their customers. The manufacturers have been pushing back on factory service claims if the customer hasn't been keeping their maintenance up. So they've been pushing back saying, hey, you're supposed to come in here every 12 months or 18 months to get this inspected and, check the levels and blah, blah, blah. And then they don't do it.
Yeah.
And if a customer's trying to file a warranty claim, the manufacturers are kicking back saying, hey, you didn't do your scheduled maintenance you're supposed to do, so we're not going to pay for this. What we did is we combined the waiver they built for that, getting the customer to acknowledge, I understand I need to come in, and factory warranty issues could potentially arise if I don't. Oh, by the way, I don't want to get a service contract. So we're kind of putting all that pressure on them on one form is what we're doing. We're combining them. George, sorry.
No, you did great. Thank you. Give me 1 second. I'm making a note. You reminded me of something.
But the where I use it a lot is educating and reminding the dealers. This is also the liability portion of this. It helps take that off the dealer, but the consumer gets one more chance to have to sit there and say, oh, maybe I do want this service contract, right? That's the whole intent. That's the whole intent. One last swing.
That's the truth. The way I try to word it, and Caleb, you might have a better one, or Scott or Ken from your days. You guys have a better one. Let's lay it out there. Let's get it looked at. I tried to, create this and take others that were out there and make it sound like, that they really need to think about buying that extended service contract before they sign this. The benefits, terms, conditions, cost of the extended service agreement offered this dealership by has been offered and explained to me, and at this time I wish to decline the protection, right? Not decline buying it or purchasing it, decline the protection. I further understand that all costs of repair of the purchase unit outside of the manufacturer's warranty and or dealership supplied warranty are my responsibility, and I agree to all costs required to repair the unit. So, and I just kind of, what you do is, this is a shitty job. I get it. None of you guys would present this to your deal. I just kind of threw this together last night. Our logo's here, put their logo there. I think it's a great tool to try to, like Scott said, one more swing at the ball, right? So, and talking about the 3 phases of training, you could do the same thing here. So we have this.
George, I just want to say, I think you're being a little hard on yourself. I don't think it looks that bad. You gotta lighten up, buddy. It's Monday. You look good, buddy.
I look great. I look marvelous. I feel marvelous. I look marvelous. What can I say? Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. So we have the 3 phases of training. There's a couple reasons for going over this. Is Ken was on a call with me, Ken and Scott, on Friday. Had another call last week. I can't remember who that was with. I think it was Paul.
Yes.
I'm taking a stance with these dealers before we finalize the intake form to schedule and let them know about our rigid 3 phases of training. And I say rigid because it's been proven in the last 6 months that if we do all 3 phases of the training, our success rate with these dealers goes up exponentially. Not a little bit, but exponentially. So I've been clear and letting these dealers know that, part of the intake form is scheduling the 3 phases of training. If we get it in today, Mr. Dealer, or when we receive your signed dealer agreement, your portal should be done by Wednesday. Let's schedule your first phase of training Thursday, and then we'll schedule phase 2 next Thursday and phase 3 the following Thursday. And Brian and I were talking Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, but talking about, probably going into a little bit more in depth with the dealer when we're doing the intake form, what that training looks like. And it's not a lot. It takes, 25 to 35 minutes. The dudes we had on Friday, they're 2 car guys. They're going to get it pretty quick, right? They're going to grasp it pretty quick. Navigation of the portal, creating the agreements, cancellations, transfers, signing the customers, paying for the contracts. I mean, we had a guy last week that I started. We did phase 1 training. They sold a couple that week. And I woke up Saturday morning and here he had paid for his contracts. We didn't even get to that in the training. So it ain't rocket surgery, but we got to make sure we're going over this with the dealers. This is what we expect. And these sheets you guys all should have. I'll resend everything out. I'm going to go over this morning in one email, but you can write out their username here, their password. They got the portal link, the URL handy. You can set it up on their desktop, set it up as a favorite, whatever they choose. Talk about creating a golf cart agreement, cash, lien, finance with a lien holder, bring out the agreement, et cetera, et cetera. This is it in a nutshell. And then we have the 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And then what I did on page 3, I put the how-to videos. So that way you can email them this as well. This is certainly dealer facing, or you can use it for your records to send them these. That way they have it handy. So
and keep in mind, this list can be overwhelming to people, right? They see the list and go, oh my gosh, we're going to go through all this stuff. They do have this perception that it's going to take hours and hours and hours. It moves fairly quickly. If you have everybody in the same room at the same time, like George talked about, it's about 25 minutes, 30 minutes is all it takes if everybody doesn't have a whole bunch of questions. It really does go fairly quickly, and then they can get back to their routines, and it's respectful of their time. This is not something that we're committing a half a day training to like we used to do in the car business. Like, oh, you got to be here for 8 a.m. You're going to be here until 1 o'clock, and nothing like that. The sheet may be overwhelming, but the program itself is not.
And then what I like to do is meander in the store, after we break camp. Everybody goes to their respective offices. I kind of meander, go around. You got any questions? Because some people, in front of their boss or something, they may not want to ask that what they think is a dumb question. So spend a little time there. Go check out their shop. Check out their, their business. Talk to the owner for a bit. Pick his brain. Ask him some good questions. This guy we just launched, I mean, he's a font of knowledge, this guy. He's, an aerospace engineer by trade. He's he's got a different spin on things, but super sharp dude, So, and then, you go around, talk to each person, got any questions? Hey, let's set this up on your desktop here. What was that? Well, we got an email yesterday from Caitlin. It's got the link with your username and password. And trust me, everybody always forgets that parenthesis, right? Shift 0. That's okay. Or they can hit forgot password and set up their own password. But It's really simple. Set it up on their desktop or as a favorite, walk them through, have them navigate, show them how it works. Very simple. But the main point here is going over this in advance before getting that intake form completed so the dealer knows exactly what they're getting into. And you know, and Ken and Paul, you guys heard me. I mean, maybe you thought, geez, he's really a little harsh about this. No, I don't think I'm harsh at all. I think I'm just setting clear expectations for what we, like I said to you, Paul, what we can realistically expect from the dealer, but also what they can realistically expect from us, right? It's a fair trade.
Exactly.
It's a fair trade. And you'll see it'll pay off in the long run with your success rate. Not this hodgepodge, you know, hey, if you can, maybe, possibly. No, I don't want to sign you up if you ain't going to commit. Okay? You know, like I used to say at Credit Acceptance, I don't want triers, I want doers and not the scotch. Okay? I want people that get shit done. Okay? Or at least going to do their best. So the other thing is, for those, and everybody on this call is guilty, Russ, me, Paul, Archie, Brian, everybody but Caleb, of course, and Ken right now, and Shelly and Ryan. Y'all have dealers you signed up, and you know, maybe they're not performing where we thought they would. I think what we need to do is do a restart, do a kickstart. Okay. Now we don't have to do it now. We don't have to do it this week, but soon. We have a handful of no and low producing dealers. I think we set up a time. Hey man, listen, and I'm doing this with some dealers that you know, Mike Ford signed up. I'm gonna do a restart with them. I'm gonna restart them, re-kick them off, retrain them. You know, have them commit to the 3 phases of training. Boop, 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 3 weeks in a row. Set it up, 25, 30 minutes. Let's get this party started. Let's go. You know, they missed something. We've got too many successful dealers out there selling these on a regular, consistent basis that, you know, there's something the dealers are missing that are not selling these. Something's askew, something's amiss. Right, Russ? You got any point on that, Russ?
Well, I think that whenever someone doesn't really kind of come out of the gates, you know, like a Kentucky Derby or something, everybody has this misconception that you've done something wrong or something has gone awry, but in reality, it's just their comfort level. And the more that you interact with them, the more you get them out of that comfort level to be able to start to pitch the product. Because they're pitching, most of the time, slow starts are based on the person that's selling it doesn't believe in it wholeheartedly like we do. And when that is the case, it's because they have a comfort level of, oh, the manufacturer's warranty will take care of it. And then my ownership, you know, they'll just do, they'll take care of the first year for free. Right. So now there's no, in their own head, if I was buying a cart, I would not get an extended warranty because I know that for the next year I'm going to be taken care of. Well, I'll buy it later, right? Or whatever. They don't have that feeling of every single customer must have this product. And a lot of times ownership hasn't dripped that message down. So those two things in combination, in my opinion, is really what creates a slow start. No one, and maybe it's and us on our part, we have to engage them more when those circumstances happen because they're in a comfort zone. They don't see the value, and they're just cruising right along. And they're making all the money that they need to make to selling carts or doing whatever they're doing. The extra incentive of extra money may or may not be a real incentive to them. So there's lots of moving parts to that, but the more that you get in front of them, the more you're talking to them about it on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, they're going to, and get them a win. Like getting them a win early is monumental.
Yeah.
So if you can engage with them on a regular basis from the beginning, it'll make a huge difference. That's where these three phases of training have made a significant amount because we're getting people out of those comfort zones.
Yeah, and it's a casual, you know, like when I do my training, I ask them, like, walk me through your sales process. When a customer comes into the building or you see them outside looking at carts, let's walk through that. You know, at what point does the factory warranty come up? Great. Okay, so that's a great time to bring up the fact that you've partnered with American Car Care to offer extended service contracts where you can extend that warranty, including labor and pickup and delivery. But hey, let's take this cart for a drive and see what you think about it, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever your next step is, go right back smoothly into it. And then when you're writing up the deal, present it. You got your desk mat there, you got your other point of sale materials. Bring it up again. Don't forget the factory warranty is 2 years, but it is parts only. So you are responsible for labor and bringing your car here if there's a needed repair, yada, yada, yada. And then create word tracks with them that flow right into what they normally do is the best thing. You know, what they're comfortable saying, we can create tidbits to mix in there, right? We want to be integrated into their current sales system, if that makes sense. So it's, and like Paul, I'm sorry, not Paul, Ken, maybe it was Paul too, but you know, if you hear me on my calls, you hear me talk about the dealer's pain points, right? Dealing with a customer under the 2 years that has something break. They got to talk to the customer about paying the labor and paying to get the car here. Ken, you experienced that on Friday with Jeff and Johnny, you know, and also, you know, and if they got club car, easy go, dealing with the frickin' submission of the factory warranty, it's 12-step process, yada, yada. They hate it. They hate it. It's just painful. It's not transferable, da, 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 da. You know, those are the pain points that all these dealers, and you got to bring it out of them. You want to hear them go, oh my God, I can't stand that. Talking to, as soon as the customer calls me and it's like, you know, I know what it is. I know what the part is. And now I got to deal with them and talk to them and convince them and remind them that they got to pay the labor. And oh, by the way, they got to get their card here because I can't send a tech out today. Yeah, what a pain in the ass that is. How's that work out for you, Mr. Dealer? Oh, it's horrible. It just creates such a bad situation and, you know, friction with the customer. And, you know, like the guy in California, remember Prestige, Scott? The guy says, yeah, they call us liars and stuff. We have them sign 3 documents that they say, we know we got to pay the labor. We know we got to pay pickup and delivery. We know we got to do this. 3 different documents. And the guys both sat there, man, they were shaking their head. Yeah, they call us liars. They call us all kinds of names and blah, blah, blah. What if we could alleviate that friction for you? Oh my God, that would be great. Man, it just, that works out perfect for them. So anyway, just keep that in mind, playing to their pain points, right? I mean, Scott did a great job. Anywho, restarts. If you guys need help with restarts, I'm going to volunteer Russ and myself, but both of us, if you want to schedule a Zoom call, can't get in there for whatever reason, you can get them on a restart. I would say go through all your dealers that are lackluster, not producing up to what everybody thought they would. Have a conversation with the owner, right? Let me share something here with you. I'm sorry. Give me a minute.
Yeah, and those are awkward conversations, right? When you start to engage someone that hasn't been doing any business with you, but it's really about, you know, so what's wrong? I always ask that basic question. So what's happening? Why aren't you pitching it? What, do you not like the product? Or, you know, I start with a little bit of negativity that way, because then it lowers their guard and allows them to talk to us about what's really the problem, right? Because there's a problem somewhere.
Yeah. So I created a list of questions for this golf cart dealer. I called last week twice, but he never came to the phone. So you got a dealer signed up. They haven't sold a one. First thing, let me tell you something. You see this line right here? That line has never failed me, ever.
Give it up on offering.
Yep. Hey, Ed, that's how I got Jared to respond from
I saw that, George.
Yeah,
I saw that. He did reply. He did kind of say, well, yeah, we did, but no, we didn't.
right.
Almost the same reply. No, we haven't. We did give up, but here's an opportunity.
Right.
That was good.
So this line has never failed either via email or text. Don't elaborate. You don't need anything else when you call the guy. So you say, hey, Bill, hey, this is George with American Car Care. How you doing? How's business? All right, great. Have you given up on offering extended service contracts through American Car Care? Shut up. Okay, all too many times you want to sit there and have diarrhea of the mouth and feed their lips with a response that we think is going to come out, right? Okay. Do you disagree that they add value to the customer experience? Hey, let me ask you this. Are you opposed to additional training and reviewing? What can we do to make sure this works for both of us? Okay, that's it. You don't need a lot of questions. Just spark the conversation, ask the question, close your mouth. Okay, all too many times we want to feed their lips with what we think their response is going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you given up on offering extended service contracts to American Car Care? Because you haven't sold any, and I don't know what's going on, but you know, maybe your people don't like it or something, or maybe they're not comfortable with presenting it. Is that what you think it is? He's like, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we're just not comfortable with it. We're not used to it. Because he's just going to roll with it because you gave him an out. We want to ask these questions because we really want to find out what the issue is. We really do. We care, right? Everybody wins when they offer products like American Car Care, extended service contracts, etc. I mean, everybody wins, right? The dealer wins. He makes $400 or $500 more. He gets a satisfied customer, pays labor during those first 2 years. Customer's happy. It's a better experience for them. They get the protection for 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. It's a hell of a value in most cases with the price. And we make a little bit of money. So everybody wins. It's not like we're taking advantage of anybody. So I created this for Justin. You know, I called him twice last week, but second time after 4.5 minutes on hold, I said, I'll call him back next week. So I'm going to call him today, have a little chit chat with Justin, but you know, come up with some questions, come up with some questions. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And I can share that doc too, if you want, because we all have lackluster, non-performer, low performers, right? We got to kind of you really want to genuinely ask them, what's holding them back? Because something there, right? You get somebody like Ed signed up a guy, Rob, at M&M. I mean, this guy took off like crazy, like 8 contracts the first month. I mean, just nuts. But he believes in it, and he just offers it to everybody. And okay, imagine if all of our dealers did 8 contracts a month, what our world would look like, what their world would look like. Okay. Any questions on the 3 phases of training and a restart? Again, if you need help, let's do it, man. Make sure you're following through on this. Don't let the dealers cop out because it doesn't help them. Schedule these in advance with the dealer. Let them know it's not too much to ask. We're going to provide all the training and everything you need to be successful with these programs, okay? Mm-hmm. So the last thing is I kind of rewrote. I know you guys have seen this 17 times, but I kind of rearranged this. So the 3 phases of training, this can be dealer facing. I don't know if you can send it to them or whatever. I mean, there's nothing on here that you can't send to them. Same thing with this, but I would prefer you not send it to them, but I would go over this and the 3 phases of training during your Zoom call or last meeting with the dealer before you execute the fillable intake form with the dealer. Get these commitments. Hey, let me walk you through what's going to happen. So we do the intake form. We can do it over the phone or we can do it right now. I mean, I got most of it filled out. And that's what I do is I have the whole freaking thing filled out except for usually the EIN and the bank info. Like Ken, we did on Friday. Then go over the timeline you need to schedule the training and onboarding with the dealer in 3 sessions, right? Email the completed ACC form. Here's what happens. I send it into the admin people, and then what they're going to do is create the e-sign documents. Within 24 hours, you'll get an email. It shows from Russell Mann at Adobe Sign at adobesign.com. Pretty fancy, with the e-sign version of dealer agreement, and I'll be CC'd on it, so I know when you get it, Mr. Dealer. In order to complete it, you're going to need to input the last 4 digits of your social security number for the Know Your Customer law, and possibly input your bank information. Well, don't worry about that, because I got that. I got a copy of the voided check, so don't worry about that. But quite frankly, it's 5 signatures. Takes 90 seconds to execute and can be completed on your smartphone or some other micro device you might have sitting there, okay? And you're going to get a reminder to sign every business day until the e-sign's completed. So I hope you don't mind. But once we get that back, we're going to forward it to the admin people, and they're going to do the portal creation. Turnaround time is about 3 business days, plus or minus. You'll receive an email from customer support regarding micro deposits for bank verification and alignment, and just letting you know. And then you'll receive an email. I'll get an email when the portal's fully completed, and what I'll do is I'll go through it and edit and audit it for accuracy, make sure the dealer name, because a lot of dealer names, they're LLCs, but they have a totally different DBA. We want the DBA printing on all the consumer-facing documents, okay? You don't want the LLC. We had one Friday, what was it, J&R Family Investments LLC, which doesn't even match close to the dealer name. So we want to make sure the dealer name's on the paperwork. The address, phone number, sometimes it's been put, the phone number is the dealer's mobile number. I don't think you want that on every consumer-facing document. Verify the users are set up. Cost of products is very, very important, right, Scott? Very, very important. Vaulted retail prices are set up, and test both new and used carts on every product in there. Trust me. So order the American Cart Care desk mats by emailing A Stores. Schedule a welcome call and email to the owner from Russ or George, doesn't matter. And we also want to keep track. Right now, we're not getting emails, but they're working on it. Bart and his team are working on that. You'll get an email every time a VSC or a product is sold in the portal, so you can call your dealer and congratulate them. And I would probably do that on the first 3, 4, or 5, But right now, you just go into the portal. I know Ed does it. A couple other people do it. They go into the portal every day, look at their dealers, and see what they did and all that other fun stuff. So,
hey, George.
Yes.
I got a question. Is it possible for us through the portal to be able to see who sold the service contract? I know that, right now it gives us pretty much everything except, what rep specifically sold that, to kind of get an idea of, who's selling what, who's performing, who's not performing. So
Right.
we can kind of reach out to them and kind of support them, call their stores, let them know that we're here, those sorts of things.
Don't know. I'll ask. Russ, do you know anything about that?
I'm not aware of the breakdown by salesperson
All right.
on the fly. I think it can be built, but in a report, but I don't think it's on the fly.
Well, each person has their own login information, and it's also associated with their name. So
Yep.
just, under each service contract, there's a plethora of information. I just didn't know if there would be space to be able to put the username or the actual name to track it. Thank you.
It should be simple. Should be fairly simple.
Should be keyword.
Yep. It'll be available on the 1st. Okay. We'll get it done by the 1st.
But you guys agree that would be something that'd be kind of helpful to kind of,
We've been asking for that for a
super
while.
helpful, Archie. Super.
But we've been asking for that for a while.
Yeah.
Couple things. Yeah, a couple things we've been asking for. We're working on it.
Okay, just making sure I'm not the only one. I'm glad you guys see the value in it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to go from macro to micro. So macro, here's American Car Care. Macro, here's Prestige Group. Here's Tidewater Group, et cetera. Drill down by store, drill down by sales agent, et cetera. Also by agent or agency, all that kind of stuff. We'd like to see that and keep track of it because that way we can kind of track our KPIs as well.
Yeah, because right now, I've shared a little bit with you guys, but we've got 11 sales reps doing 98% of the work, and right now I've got to reach out to a specific store for them to do work to give me, the numbers for each and every person. So if I could kind of do that on the back end, to where I didn't have to rely on someone from the store, and honestly, if I wasn't able to get that from the store, I don't know how I would be able to get numbers of people who sold what, anyways.
Right. Yep. Making a note. So reminder, new new service contracts are available in current model year 2025 and 2 model years back, 2024, 2023. So as a reminder, not everybody was on the call last week that we had a sale of a 2022, brand new, never titled. Poor dealer still had a 2022 in stock. Sorry to hear that. That has to be sold only as a used. The system will not allow it. The system will not allow it. So new extended service contracts are available on current model year new, 2 model year back new, untitled units. Okay, keep that in mind. Still in the certificate of origin, manufacturer certificate of origin, whatever you want to call it. Just keep that in mind. Russ, who backs American Car Care? Russ, how does that work? Like, if you guys, if American Car Care goes out of business and I go out of business, who's going to take care of my customers?
Oh, you're asking me that question legitimately? I thought you were going to have your like flow, like how the whole question goes.
Dude, I'm setting you up, man.
Yeah, we're backed by a third-party insurance company that allows us to, we pay them to guarantee that your customers would be taken care of. It's called a CLIP, contract liability insurance policy, and that CLIP ultimately protects you and ultimately protects the customer from loss if we go out of business, the dealer goes out of business, the cart manufacturer goes out of business, which is a real thing all of a sudden. We're going to make sure that you're going to get taken care of.
Yes. Yes. So it's on every piece of paper we write as a separate clip. So each individual service contract, tire and wheel, theft benefit, each contract has its own clip, contract liability insurance policy.
Yeah.
That protects that. If anything happens to our reserves, we go out of business, dealer goes out of business, TPA goes out of business, the insurance company would kick in and pay claims exactly to the letter of the service agreement, service contract.
Yeah, there's no wiggle room at all if that ever occurs.
There's
Because
not.
you have a giant insurance company that strictly goes by the contract. They're going to ask for maintenance records. It's a horrible experience. So
Yeah. Good stuff. But keep that in mind, your dealers, quite frankly, we've been getting it asked more and more lately. And that's fine. That's fine. We're fully protected. I won't do anything where there ain't no clip. Trust me. It ain't worth it.
yeah, because let me tell you why we have a clip is because then the consumer ultimately could come after the agency, the agent for providing a product that didn't have one. So, I mean, it's an important piece of our business model to protect you, us, and the dealer.
And there's a 3-letter company out there. I don't remember the name of it exactly, but those guys don't even know what a clip is. Okay? So our biggest competitor doesn't even know what a clip is. And how do I know that? Because I know that. So keep that in mind. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. So clips add cost to the products. It raises our cost. So we are sometimes more expensive than other vendors out there, but generally that's because of the clip. Okay. Other than that, Russ and I are not greedy. We don't make a lot of money on each service contract. We are banking on volume. We are on the long, how do you say that, Russ? We are on the,
Long road, long path to prosperity.
right. We're looking 10 years down the road where there's another company out there that's coming into the limelight. What is that? The one that works with Trelongo. What is that one?
Cart guard.
Cart Guard. So Cart Guard's out there. They're making some noise. They're a lot more expensive. If you notice, everybody's taking our programs, especially a lifetime battery and key replacement, which is the first one ever written specifically for golf car LSVs and NEVs, and they're taking our programs and they're copying them. EWG never covered the battery before. Now they do. But not only that, now they're covering labor, but they cap labor at $95 an hour. They do not have a clip. They do not have a clip. Okay? That's something the dealer needs to be concerned about. You know, back in the Ken remembers this, and Caleb probably too, and Ed, back in the glory days, man, there was no clip. There was no clip, man. There was nothing, right? You know, the freaking company went out of business. The dealer just paid, man. The dealer's like, whoa, man, I was doing business. You know, Ed and I had this guy called Mike King, and I can't remember the name of his warranty contract he owned. And we were selling a lot of them things, man, a lot of them things. And then poof, that guy took the money and ran. Just like Smart Auto Care back in the glory days. God, I can't remember what the name of his contract was though. But anyway, you know, dealer had to pay all the claims. You know, then through the years, and especially after the Smart Auto Care debacle, I'm sure the federal government has changed requirements and things like that on these products. But I won't do it. Everything has a clip. So keep that in mind. Contract, liability, insurance policy. Okay? That's what it is. Any questions on that? Now, I'll give you advice. You don't even need to bring it up with most dealers, okay? You don't need to bring it up. You just need to have that in your back pocket. Peace of mind with every ride, LOL, but peace of mind with every transaction that we know in the back of our mind that we're fully insured and fully protected. Because your dealers will not understand that, most of them, okay? They have no idea what that means, okay?
The best time to use that is when you're in competition with other vendors. I mean, because the inevitable question is what separates you from every other provider, right? Ours is golf car specific. It's not a rebadged power sport, and it's fully clipped and insured. What's fully clipped and insured mean? And then you can go into that process.
Yeah, there's so many points of difference with our program compared to Axiom, EWG, Cart Guard, Smart Auto Care, AGWS, all that stuff. There's huge points of difference that just, when you get through with those, we always come out on top, period, end of story. So, any questions? I got a few more things to go over. So when you get your dealer signed up and when you are going to go and you're going to purify the portal, you're going to do this step down here. Agent must review the accuracy, blah, blah, blah. If you need help with that, please let Russ and I know. We'd love to walk you through it. It's a little tedious, but after you get it done the first couple times, it's very simple. It really is. If you create contracts in there that are not actual contracts, like test contracts or bogus contracts or demo contracts, whatever you want to call them, you can email Caitlin to void them, and she will gone like they never even existed. It's awesome, right, Russ?
Yep.
So guys, I know probably a lot of you don't read a lot about this industry, but then in the latest issue of Golf Car News, there's more and more cities and towns with petitions and ordinances and issuing of permits for golf cars, LSV, and NEVs to be on the roads. Okay? We're talking about it, I think, on Friday as well in that one meeting. But like Charleston, South Carolina, like well, that's a probably should have golf carts, right? But they're changing the ordinance there. Jefferson City, wherever the hell that is, Missouri. Jefferson City, Missouri is poised to revolutionize local transportation norms by potentially allowing golf carts and utility vehicles on certain city streets. So who'd have thunk it there, right? Missouri? I don't even know people live there. But apparently they do, and they drive golf cars. So all over the country.
I'm not sure why anybody would live in Missouri either, George.
Just the name.
Hey, guys, I have to jump in here. I'm from Missouri. So people used to live there.
My brother, yeah, my brother and my kids live there.
Oh, yeah. I call it misery. And I shouldn't say it. I don't think I've ever even been there, but it's just funny. Here's another one. Elburn, Illinois. A new transportation debate is underway, according to the Daily Herald, which probably has a circulation of 675. But anyway, at the heart of the discussion is community-driven initiative to allow golf cars on village streets. I mean, we're listen to me. I'm super stoked when I read this shit because we're in an industry that's only going to grow. Okay, it's only going to grow. Have we had some limitations? Yes, because of the inventory restrictions. But guess what? They're beefing up production. I mean, there's golf cart manufacturers. One of them is just freaking doubling. I think it's Denago or somebody's doubling their manufacturing facility down there in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. So there's several manufacturers that are like literally doubling their manufacturing facilities in the United States. So think about that. We're in a growing industry. It's up to us, I think, to educate our dealers about other streams of income. When you go over this, I've found very few dealers, probably 10% of my interactions with golf car, LSV, NEV dealership owners, where they didn't quite grasp this. And it's generally the ones that have been in business 40, 45 years. They sell carts. They work out of a little building. They don't see the need for it. Gotcha. Well, guess what? As us old car dogs will testify, those guys will be out of business because, the big dealers are going to put them out of business or close to it. So there's a lot of friction going on with Evolution golf carts with the appointment of points, franchises in certain areas. We'll see what happens. But that's all I got for today. I think updated dealer-facing enrollment process, which we did. Dealer-facing phase 3 training, we did. Scott, I was going to bug you, but we're a little bit limited on time. Anybody got any questions or concerns they want to bring up in the last 8 minutes?
No, sir.
So the big thing is, I say, is revisit all your dealers and let's set them up for a restart, a re-kick in the ass, a restart, a relaunch, whatever you want to call it. And, if you want, I can share these questions with you. I think you'll get you just got to ask them right, though. If you don't ask them right, they don't work. Okay? Hey, Russ.
Yeah.
Have you given up on offering your customers extended service contracts to American Kart Care?
Well, no. No, I think there's value in it. We've struggled with, like how to do it. And we just don't really understand what the best process is. We pitch it to everybody, but they're just not buying it.
So when you say you struggle with it, what does that look like?
Well, like I said, we're pitching it to everybody, but no one sees the value. No one's buying them. Like we tell everybody about it. Mm-hmm. We got a little desk mat on our desk and say, "Oh, you want American Car Care? Mm-hmm. Well, what's the extended warranty coverage, Mr. Dealer? Well, or what's the original manufacturer's warranty, Mr. Dealer? Well, it comes with an 8-year battery and it comes with a 3-year bumper to bumper parts only. You know, they spew out some manufacturer's warranty bullshit, and then okay, well no, I'm fine with that. It's fine, right? That's what happens. So, what do you
So
think? How should I fix that, George?
well, what I would do is I'd have him walk him through his process from the meet and greet to sitting at the desk where he's bringing up that desk mat, and give him, just listen to his entire pitch, which he's going to, exaggerate more than he really does. If I'm able to, I would schedule time to get in there, and I would just sit there and listen to his pitch. What I do is I'll walk around meandering. I call it meandering. And Brian will remember this from the days of working with me. I would always say, just go in there and meander, like you're looking at a golf car. You're reading the sticker, but you're listening to the pitch. You're listening to the guy answer the phone. You're listening to how they interact with their consumers. You're not reading anything. Listen. And then you can take that information and use it with them, not against them, with them, to talk to them and say, hey, you did a really good job there. However, let's walk through this. You did a good job there, and you probably do like a donut thing, right? Dude, you did a good job there, bringing up this, bringing up that. And then when they asked about the warranty on the golf cart, what did you say? Well, I said, yeah, it's a 2-year parts only warranty, right? What could
What do you mean by parts only?
Yeah. So then you can inject, but we partnered up with American Car Care. Most of our dealers should have the hangers like Brian and Archie do and Scott does on the windshield of the cart. They can say, oh, but here, look at this. We partnered up with American Car Care to offer extended service contracts that covers not only the labor, but also the parts after the manufacturer's warranty expires. Not only that, it's transferable and it reimburses you up for pickup and delivery. Really? Yeah. Nobody ever says the $100 out there but me. So, go, okay. So then say, yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity. Most of our customers take advantage of it. Trust me. Okay. But let me show you this. Then they get right back to selling the golf cart. Right. And it's the best person I've seen do this, and probably Scott next week, we should have you do it. What you did with James and everybody at Prestige. You're just a smooth operator. I think that's Charday, right?
I think that's a song.
Yeah, Charday. I don't know why that popped in my brain. That's pretty sad. But anyway, we got to bounce. So next Monday, dial in, tune in, get everybody on the call. We're going to have Scott walk us through how he took James from a non-believer to a believer in selling American Car Care extended service contracts.
Hallelujah.
Stay tuned.
Sounds like I need to start a religious channel or something.
It's a cult. It's a cult. All right,
It's a
guys.
little bit of a cult.
Yeah,
Right.
we got to bounce. Russ, I'm going to grab coffee before 8 o'clock. We got to bounce. You guys, I'm tied up till about 11. What's it called? Pacific time. After that, if you need anything, give me a call. If you want to schedule some restarts with some of these dealers, give me a call. Let's get them cranking, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, guys.
Like a deal.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for your
You
time.
too.
Have a great